Greetings, it's Eric Backer, naturopath, author of Candida Crusher. Thanks for tuning in. I've got a question here from somebody. What causes recurring yeast infections? Recurring yeast infections are caused by probably a partial recognition, of the problem and some treatment that's been effective to a degree. So, you may know you've got this problem. You'll fix it up a little bit. It'll go away to a degree, but then it will recur. It will come back again, okay? So I commonly see this with people, many different people who are quite busy and active, who sort of want to get rid of their yeast infection, that don't invest the right amount of time or effort to really eradicate it properly. This is very common with working people, busy people, with mums with a couple of children, for example, or guys that are self-employed or working quite hard, got jock itch, for example. So these people are very busy, they go about their life, they get symptoms, they treat the symptoms go away, they feel good for a while, then the symptoms recur. So the only way you're going to prevent these recurring symptoms is by tackling this thing properly, is by getting on top of the problem, by making the right lifestyle and diet changes long enough, usually 4 to 6 months, consistently making these changes to eradicate this infection, okay? And then being vigilant and being very careful that you don't get recurrence by monitoring this condition. And then if the symptoms come up slightly, is to knock them on the head really fast by making those changes again. I wrote about this a lot in my book Candida Crusher, that the big danger period for a lot of people is when they're actually in the recovery phase. All right? Many people have got a lot to learn about full recovery, because partial recovery with many chronic conditions is much more common than full recovery, much more. I'd say 75% of people partially recover. Partial recovery can be meaning symptom-free for weeks to months, but full recovery means no symptoms for 12 months plus. There's a big difference. Now, most websites and books and practitioners you see will pitch to you partial recovery through their treatments, because they don't push you hard enough or give the patient the right information they need to fully recover, okay? So what causes recurring yeast infections is a partial application of wanting to get well, not fully committing, okay? It's almost like you've got a job and, from 8 to 5 days a week, but you turn up at the job 3 or 4 times, a week. You don't go 5 days a week. You're not really fully committed to that job, so you're going to annoy a lot of people. You probably end up getting fired from that job. And it's the same with a yeast infection, Some people say to me, look, I will do everything you say, but I'm not going to give up alcohol. Of course they're going to get recurrence. Or as soon as they get a cough or a cold, they go straight for an antibiotic. Bang, recurrence. Or they're over at a wedding, they're feeling really good. They felt good for 2 or 3 months, they're at a wedding, and they get offered some champagne and some nice cakes and some candies and things like that. And then they really go into this, they binge on this, they come home and a day later, oh, I feel so bad, I've got bad bloating, or things like that. Recurrence. So recurrence is more common if you've had a period of feeling really good, and then you go, all out and you go crazy, have a bit of a binge on something, and then wham, the symptoms recur. So it pays to be vigilant and to be careful with your diet and lifestyle for a good 4 to 6 months at a minimum before you start going back into some of your old habits that led you to the yeast infection in the first place. So if you can bear some of those points in mind, you can prevent recurrence of Candida infections. Okay? I hope that answers some of your questions. Thank you.